Selfless acts of bravery.
25-year-old Jordan Anchado was shopping for school supplies at the Walmart in El Paso. She died shielding her 2-month-old baby from the bullets. She was a mother of 3.
Maribel Latin was raising money for her daughter's soccer team outside of the Walmart when the attacker started firing. She was shot in the arm and the foot. She survived after pretending to be dead.
There are always heroes. Ramon Garcia and Jimmy Villatoro say they got a frantic phone call from a friend at Walmart and ran to find kids who were hurt and take victims to the hospital. Now, here in Colorado, people are also responding to the tragedies, holding 2 rallies today in Denver. First at City Park, that group marched to the Capitol, where another group gathered to call for gun reform. Governor Jared Polis tweeted this morning, "What's going on, America? So much sadness in such a short time." We also spoke with former Governor John Hickenlooper, who shared his experience facing mass shootings.
Well, I guess the best advice I can give is to recognize that there is real trauma, not just in the families of the victims, but the first responders. You should hear the stories I hear from some of the firefighters and police officers that went as the shooting was occurring.
And the call from demonstrators at the state capitol today, one we've heard before, demanding action from local and national leaders on gun violence.
And of course, we'll stay on top of this developing story, both on air and on our Denver 7 app. We also have information right now on the denverchannel.com about how you can help the victims. You can also find the very latest on our Denver 7 streaming apps for Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire.
Right now, people living near the Lake Christine burn scar are being told to evacuate because of flooding and mudslides. Take a look at these images from the Aspen Times of the surging river spilling onto streets. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning until 11:45 tonight. Heavy rain has caused 2 mudslides that trapped drivers on Frying Pan Road. Crew is still working to get them out. Pitkin County is telling people in that area move to higher ground, and they've set up an evacuation center at the Eagle County building near Crown Mountain Park.
And right now, storms are actually moving out of the state tonight, but don't be fooled. A wet week could be on the horizon. Meteorologist Stacey Donaldson's tracking the storms for us. And Stacey, kind of sounds like August.
Right? It's very typical for this time of year. Temperatures today were in the 90s. We still have a lot of activity as we were talking about the flooding up in the burn scar near Aspen. And that's that flood warning in effect here until 11:45. So we're keeping a close eye on that. But the rain continues to fall. Here around Denver, we have scattered showers just off to our west, up into the foothills around Evergreen, up toward Boulder. So light to moderate rainfall coming down, a little bit heavier here southeast of Sterling up into northeastern Colorado. Our temperatures right now mostly in the 60s here for our area. It's going to be a nice mild evening for us, but we do have rain on the way, and I'll let you know exactly when those thunderstorms and showers will be moving through the metro area coming up.
All right, thanks, Stacey. Every time an Arvada woman crosses Wadsworth in her wheelchair, she's terrified because the crosswalk signal has been broken for weeks.
So she reached out to Contact 7 after pleas for help went nowhere. Denver 7's Lance Hernandez talked to that woman today. And Lance, she says this problem has been going on for 6 weeks now.
That's a long time now. Normally, CDOT and Public Works are all about safety, so we're just as puzzled as she is as to why it's taking so long to fix the pedestrian signal. Now, the crosswalk is at 72nd and Wadsworth, a very busy intersection in Arvada. We reached out to the city. They said the traffic and pedestrian signals are CDOT's responsibility since Wadsworth is a state highway.
I've pushed it many times.
Cindy Ohlin is frustrated by the slow response to her request to fix this pedestrian walk signal.
The first week I pushed it, I thought maybe I hadn't pushed it hard enough, so the next week I then tried it again and I pushed, and nothing.
The button on the southeast corner of 72nd and Wadsworth won't activate the walk signal to cross Wadsworth. So Ohlin, who uses a wheelchair, waits for the green traffic light and crosses even though it says don't walk. She just hopes that people see her.
I just cross my fingers as I'm going across.
Ohlin suffers from psoriatic arthritis and neuropathy. That's why she uses a wheelchair. She crosses that intersection to get to Red Rocks Church.
That's my social get-together.
I asked why she doesn't use the crosswalk on the north side of the intersection. She says the ramp is too far away from the light pole.
I used to carry an umbrella to try to poke the walk signal, but my hands don't hold the umbrella anymore.
I have many people that tell me, "Don't you worry about her?" I said, "Yes, but she wants to go to church."
Cindy's mom says it's much easier for her daughter to use a wheelchair than to get in and out of a van. She can't believe it's taking CDOT this long.
I think it's too long, especially without telling her we've got a delay. You know, if they had just done that, it would be nice.
Now, a CDOT spokesman told me this evening that he's still trying to determine who is responsible for that intersection. He said if it is CDOT, they will investigate and get to the bottom of it, and we will stay on top of this.
Good.
The sooner the better for Cindy here.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Lance. And if you have a tip or a problem you think we should look into, call Contact 7 at 720-462-7777. You can also send us an email at contact7@thedenverchannel.com. Well, a scary scene in Commerce City today. A realtor turned the tables on a would-be attacker. Police say the woman had been holding an open house at a home on 104th Avenue when a man came into the home and threatened her with a knife. She grabbed a gun and shot at him. Right now, it's not clear if he was hit or injured. The woman, though, was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say that man took off and tonight is still on the run.
And look at this, an Adams County neighborhood on edge tonight after someone went through the neighborhood shooting out car windows. At least 3 cars were hit near I-25 and Highway 36. Deputies responded fast and they have 4 people in custody in connection with the damage. Now they're trying to determine if this is connected to shots fired at cars in Littleton earlier in the evening.
Well, tonight a virus outbreak is affecting Colorado cattle and horses. Vesicular stomatitis is now confirmed in 14 Colorado counties and on more than 213 properties statewide. The virus is highly contagious and has not been reported here in Colorado since 2015. Horse owners are putting their animals in quarantine to stop the spread.
Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez spoke with the Boulder County woman fighting to save her horses.
Come say hi.
Denise Walker has spent most of her life loving and caring for her horses.
You gotta come to me. There you go, good girl.
Which is why when she first thought they could be infected with VSV, a virus affecting cattle, horses, and swine, she thought the worst.
She's shy and camera. When I first heard that my horses were infected, I panicked. I thought, this is life-threatening. I'm going to have to put my horses down. Good boy.
Her fear wasn't out of place. Colorado's Department of Agriculture says so far this year, VSV has popped up across 14 counties with a total of 287 cases. Denise says when her horses got infected, she knew instantly.
My horse was just off. She was acting weird. And so we decided, my vet and I, to do a pain test.
And in one of the first trials, she came across something.
In the cursory exam that I did of my horse, just feeling around, I found something really grody in her ears. It was like pussy blisters.
VSV is transmitted through flies. In some instances, it can affect humans if they have direct contact with the animal's infected area. Denise says in the end, it's a virus that is more uncomfortable for her horses.
It's just really pain management, and they can still eat, they can still drink, they can still walk.
The disease will usually run its course within 2 weeks.
The easiest way to pass it would be if you load your horse in a trailer and an affected fly came with your horse.
Now, all of Denise's horses are VSV free. More than 200 horse owners in Colorado will be anxiously awaiting similar results. Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Ivan. And so far, no deaths have been reported in Colorado because of VSV. And the Colorado Department of Agriculture is asking horse owners to report to them immediately if their horse has been infected with a disease.
We don't dive too deep because so many people are like off-put or put off by it.
A morgue turned restaurant trying to preserve Denver's history.
How the restaurant is embracing its past without creeping out its customers.
And a new music venue popping up in Denver's hottest neighborhood. A look inside the city's latest edition and how it's setting itself apart.
Next on Denver 7.
Welcome back. A mortuary turned restaurant is helping preserve Denver's character.
Thomas Hompo takes us inside Linger and shows us how it's bringing up a bigger conversation about preserving our history.
Here at Linger, the mouth-watering, sizzling arts will make you appreciate the home where they live.
Everything we do that's part of being human, one way or the other, is part of our food culture. I think part of what makes them unique is the buildings.
If you can manage to look up from your plate, you'll see a sign almost as old as the city itself.
So I was trying to read the sign.
Oh, how lively this place is. Oh, how old it is. And oh, the O.
The Ohlin family. We had that sign above, we changed the O and just called it Linger, even just to honor the sign and the family.
At first I thought it said a restaurant, and then I thought it said meat, and then I was like, wait, mortuary? I had no idea.
I totally missed it, and I guess I'm a little surprised.
So this building is an old mortuary, existed for 70 years, serving the needs that we don't like to talk about, which is when someone passes.
For decades, this place was a mortuary, serving the people of Denver. And no, the bodies that passed through here, like the famous Buffalo Bill in 1917.
Yeah, that's one of the more notorious ones.
So he passed through here, or his body passed through here in the mortuary? His body passed through here. All right.
It's funny, we don't dive too deep because so many people are like off-put or put off by it.
I don't want to eat when I hear that.
You're talking about dead bodies, you're talking about embalming, you're talking about murders, and you're like, guess who else died here and got embalmed here? But the reality is, I think Ohlin Mortuary at one point did 70% of Denver's mortuary needs.
Creepy? Probably. But it certainly draws a crowd. What the owners are doing is preserving this place, from the floors to the garage doors. All of this